Hey everybody, it's me, James John. I'm here with my buddy Devin Siebold. We're coming at you from Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. Now tune in because this week we're going to be talking about teachers not wanting to be superheroes anymore. An interesting new way to play rock, paper, scissors. And I also give you an interesting countdown about if your school needs a dress code for parents. Be sure to go ahead and follow us, like us, and share this with everybody.
Hey everybody, welcome to Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. My name is Devin Siebold, and I am here with my good buddy, Mr. James John, my co-host, also a parent. We are the parent-teacher dynamic here to hopefully reduce the stress of your work week. Be sure to rate this podcast 5 stars on all the platforms that you listen on, and don't forget to follow us online, Crying in My Car podcast on pretty much every single platform. Follow my buddy James John over here. He's trying to build up the socials. He's posting the teacher-parent videos. He's trying to get a little traction, so give those a little like and share. And don't forget to continue to come out and support the comedy tour that I'm on with board teachers as well. We're doing some great shows with that.
You are, man. You're killing it.
And obviously, I'm out there also speaking at schools. Lately, I've been speaking at a ton of schools, and hopefully yours as well. I'll start off by saying I speak at schools, and I also try to support teachers and support myself through merchandise sometimes. Like I sell my book, A Teacher in the Wild. I sell some Amazon affiliate links. I've tried that. Only teacher specific. So if you follow me online, anytime, I'm not going to spam you with a bunch of stuff to buy. But listen, I got kids. I got to pay bills.
You do.
You know, so I occasionally post some stuff out there that I can monetize, that I can get some money off of. One thing that I recently did is I brought back my teacher superhero cape pin. So
I saw that.
And man, okay, so here's the funny thing. I've got a funny story about this. The teacher superhero cape pin I designed.
Okay.
My design, I drew it. I had them print it. I had them manufacture it. I, ship it out. Clark Kent style Superman with the word teacher on the back. Very basic, very simple. Now, James, I came up with that idea in 2018.
Okay.
It was originally part of this podcast Patreon where we would ship out the pins to those Patreons, and then I sold a few of the extra ones. It got a wild response.
I believe it.
When I say it sold out instantly, I mean it sold out instantly. I was shocked. So these were little 1-inch pins. I made them bigger, 1.5 inch, and I said, you know what? I think it's time to bring back the pin.
Yeah.
I said, because I love the pin. I redesigned it, make it a little bigger, make it a little more crisp, the color pop, look good. And so I did. I ordered some. I posted online. Didn't go like I wanted, James.
Uh-oh.
It's amazing to me because we, just 5 years ago, teachers were like, I'm a superhero. I deserve the superhero pin. Principals were buying the superhero pin for their staff. They were saying, you're a superhero. We felt like we were changing lives, changing the world.
I get it.
I got blowback going, teachers aren't superheroes.
Whoa.
Yeah, but from teachers. They were saying, I'm sick of having that mentality that we're here to save the day.
Gotcha.
We've been saving the day for a long time, bro. It's like
we're done.
It's like if Superman was like, bro, come on, speeding train again? I mean, how many track can we please build a adequate brake system?
What? I can't believe it though. Teachers are actually.
There was definitely some pushback, and not only was there pushback, there was now I'll say this: 99% of the feedback positive.
Okay.
Sold a lot of the pins.
Okay.
They're probably still out there. I don't know. They were close to selling out already, but
Gotcha.
So I sold a lot of the pins. Everything was going well. I also noticed though that those comments were getting likes. Teachers were going, yeah, I'm kind of sick of being the hero.
Understood.
Yeah, it's weird.
I get that though. Man, I get to listen day in and day out from you and all the teachers that hit me up about all the horrible things you guys have to put up with,
right?
All the challenges that you guys got to go through. Then to be looked at like a superhero and have to live up to that expectation, that's exhausting. No one can do that.
I think too much needs saving.
Yeah.
I think that's the mentality we've kind of taken is, you know what, I was cool with, putting out some fires early on when it was just 1 or 2 kids that weren't turning in their work. But now I'm getting punched in the face. It's like, what isn't there, you're a comic book guy.
I love it.
There was one superhero, Batman.
Yeah.
Didn't he quit? Didn't he
Yes.
say, I'm sick of the way they're treating me?
And he hung up the rope.
Yeah,
He
because
hung
they
up the
weren't
cape.
appreciative
Yeah.
of it,
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Do you think that's kind of the mentality these teachers have is that, you know what, I've been doing this work for a while. It's a thankless career. And now not only is it thankless, we're being attacked. Before it was, I'm not being thanked. Now it's, I'm not only not being thanked, I'm being accused.
That's what I was going to say. And here's the problem, Dev. Not only, like you said, you guys have to work day in and day out. You guys are tired. You work hard. You really care about your students. But nowadays, you're getting so much taken away.
Yeah.
You're getting books taken away. What you can talk about is getting taken away. At some point, you're just defeated. And you're like, I'm done. I can't be a superhero if you take away my power.
And this is the thing, James. You said the key word there. The books are being taken away. You know how much flack we got from that on the last episode of saying the books are taken away? You know how many times people go, they're not taking away your books. There's nothing wrong with the books in Florida. You got your books. No, we don't.
We don't, yeah.
The reason, I'll tell you this. I sell a children's book. I sell my children's book. Do you realize I thought about it and I was like, let me do an experiment.
Yeah.
And I looked at my sales. And I looked at where they come from. And I sold a ton. I sold 700 books to the state of Florida pre-DeSantis book ban.
Yes.
After DeSantis book ban, 49.
Wow.
49 books. And you
Yes.
realize I sell them at my shows. And I would have teachers come up, I might buy it for my kid, but I can't put it in my classroom, because they got to approve it. I'll get in trouble. It's a kid's book.
It's a kid's book.
It's a kid's book.
I mean,
But but this is the thing. That's again why teachers are so tired of being the superhero. What if Clark Kent? We were like, hey man, that X-ray vision you got, bro, it's outlawed.
yeah.
I don't know if you know that, but
you can't use that.
You can't just look through the wall at any. The banker might be undressing, bro.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. The robber, he might not have, he might have signed a waiver saying that he doesn't get his photograph taken, and here you are photographing memory. I don't think so, bro.
You're impeding on his rights, bro.
Yeah, he's allergic to lasers. We can't even laser him anymore.
We can't laser him anymore.
He's allergic to lasers.
DeSantis has people scared. It's like 1980, as a matter of fact. DeSantis has people scared to say the word black. Remember back in the day in the 80s, white people would look at me and when they would say the word black, they look around, black.
Yeah.
They do the same thing in the classroom now because you're not allowed to teach anything.
It's
about
unfortunate, bro. It's unfortunate, but that's and I don't want to just necessarily attack one politician, but it's the mentality that's kind of being handed down.
It's kind of steamrolled into something different.
These things aren't just passed by him; they're passed by an entire legislature of politicians. Obviously, but that's again the thing is that we're kind of tired of being the subject of politics. We're tired of let's pass some bills to repair a road. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Can we expand I-4 one lane before we? I mean, it's just gosh. So that I get it when the teachers saw it, but I was like, man, wow, that's changed. I mean, I wish I could go back and see. I'll see if I can find the original post of the teacher superhero pin and people going, man, this is great. My teacher's a superhero.
Yeah.
I feel, I'm going to get this for my whole crew. And then this one going, I'm tired.
If you make that pin,
want to be a hero.
Gotcha.
Yeah, maybe I should do the superhero cape because it says I'm tired on the back. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. You know what? I prefer Clark Kent. Actually,
no Superman.
I'm fine with that.
Let me ask you a question off the cuff, man. Just something we didn't plan at all, but I want to ask you. Speaking about the fact that teachers don't think they're superheroes anymore or want to live up to that, when you guys go through the stuff you went through when you were a teacher, what do you guys do to decompress? I'm curious. How do you guys do it?
In the talk that I do at schools, it's all about laughing, man. So I did videos for 5 years before they ever took off.
Got it.
You knew.
Yeah.
You were following me on Facebook like he's sharing another one of his videos.
I liked
got
them, though.
82 views. Why is he doing this? And it was to decompress myself.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I was going crazy. I will say this. I would leave the school and my jaw would be like locked. It was all stressed. I kept the stress right
your jaw
here. And so my jaw was like tight, locked down, and I was like, man, I gotta find an outlet to get rid of this stress. I gotta get out of that. So I did two things. I started making funny videos, and I started working out. We had a little gym, we had a little weight room, and so I'd go in there before the football team got in there, and I'd lift the little weights. And I'll tell you right now, after a full day of dealing with freshmen in high school, you can suddenly bench 475 pounds. And I say 475, which is an odd number because I would just put extra plates on the side bed not even knowing if the weight was balanced.
There
bro.
you go. Just do it.
But no, it was really hard. Like,
I bet.
and that was the thing is you tried to be that person that did it for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to, but eventually you gotta take care of yourself. You
do.
know. And
okay, that's the key word. Take care of yourself.
And that's the thing that I think a lot of teachers really struggle with. There's two things. Is first off, not only are they not taking care of themselves, but they're not taking care of their home life. And so I found myself coming home stressed, so stressed from school that I would go right to bed. I would take a nap. Well, my kids are home and they want to play.
Yeah, they want to see daddy.
They want to see daddy, and daddy's too worn out to see you. And that's the kind of, it's like, man, do I not give it all at school and so I can have a little bit for my kids?
That's right.
Or do I give it all at school and neglect my own children and hope there's another teacher loving them a little better than I am? I mean, it's a gut-wrenching thing, but it's the reality of it all.
And I empathize with you because there's one thing to be physically tired, but to be mentally tired, everything shuts down.
Well, you just got to prioritize. At some point, you just got to put the phone down. You just got to close the laptop. You got to turn off the notifications and say, you know what? This is me. This is me time. I'll deal with the rest of it later. And again, it's hard because it's easy to say that when you don't have that responsibility right now. I mean, I can say that all day long, but I'm kind of hypocritical by saying it because I'm not teaching. But, you know, from a teacher's perspective, from what I see, I really hope that they can, you know, take their health into consideration.
Gotcha.
Another thing that I've often noticed too is that when I was teaching, I gained a lot of weight. I mean, when I was the most stressed, I can look at my teacher photos and be like, I remember that year because I can see it in my face.
Gotcha.
I can see the weight in my face. And that's why I see a lot of teachers, you know, unfortunately, teaching as a career has a long history of obesity that we see a lot of. And I mean, it's statistical. It's not like a visual thing. Like it's an actual statistic where insurance companies charge more to insure the teachers because they don't take their health into a consideration as a priority. No. So it's one of those things where we've got to eat better. We've got to try to exercise. We've got to try to do all this stuff. And then again, I guess it comes circling back around. I'm tired of being a superhero.
There you go.
Because doing all that,
there you go, man.
You got to be a superhero to do all that. And it's like, I just want to sit down.
I just want to turn my brain off.
Just want to turn my brain off.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you know, you don't have the money too. So here's the thing too, is that I think this is the next topic that I wanted to get into and talk about with you.
Okay.
Is that teachers are tired of being the superhero, but also I feel like we're not given the tools to succeed by being given the money. We always say teachers deserve more pay, but I don't think you understand what that entails.
Okay.
We're not offering to give teachers, I'm not saying teachers deserve more money just to make them wealthy. I'm saying teachers deserve more money so that they can mentally do their job.
Got it.
You know, it's one thing we were talking last episode about the pantry.
Yeah.
You know, the food pantry.
The food bowl.
How do you go into school knowing that you don't have the money for food later? I mean, there was so many times as a teacher where I would bring up my bank account and I didn't want students to see because I was like, please don't be negative. Please don't be negative. Negative. And I'm like, how am I going to get, I got to get gas. I got to get home.
Yes.
You know, I mean, there was literally, I remember being a teacher and calling in one day, telling them my tire was flat because I didn't have the money to put $5 in my tank to get to school.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. And that was the financial question that I think we've kind of ignored is that we're not asking for millions of dollars as teachers. We're simply asking to move up on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, bro. That's it.
I'm going to need to literally make a commercial for teachers. For only 2 cents a day, you can feed.
I know, but that's
crazy.
But I've always been, do you know Maslow's?
I do.
Okay, so I would get that tattooed on my back.
Yeah.
Once I learned, when I took psychology and I was a psych major for 3 years in college, when I learned about what Maslow's hierarchy of needs was and what it meant, it opened up my eyes because as a teacher, we feel, so first off, the base of Maslow's, do you know what it is?
I don't.
Safety.
Okay.
You know, you got to have safety. Like you got to be safe. And that's the number one problem now. We used to have safety right off the bat as a teacher. You're good. You feel good.
Because you're at school. It's a safe haven.
Now we're not.
No, you're not.
You're taking away our safety. We don't get time to eat. There's not enough time for food. We don't know if we're going to have enough money to afford a roof over our head.
Kids are hitting teachers.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, bro. The other thing in Maslow's is our relationships, bro. Yes. We used to have the relationships, at least a piece of the pyramid, where we would be like, hey, man, these kids were great. You know, I had a bad day. I didn't get paid that much. You know, I don't have enough money for food this afternoon. But you know what? I changed some lives today. And that's the relationship part. Gone.
Yeah, it's gone. It's out the window.
You know, so then you sit there and you go, what? Do we have any of the pyramid? No, we don't have the pyramid. We don't even have a block. We don't even have the paw of the Sphinx outside the pyramid. We don't we have nothing. We don't even have the tourist trying to scam us out of the money outside the pyramid. We have nothing. So it is frustrating because I see the things of teachers are greedy. Teachers are staging walkouts. Teachers are this because they just want more money. They don't even work the whole year. Okay, fine. Try to succeed. Mm-hmm. Not work. Okay, so we're home.
Yeah.
We can't afford the rent.
No, you can't.
We don't get paid during summer months.
That's what people don't realize. During the summer, you don't get paid.
I know. But it's just, so reading all that, seeing all that stuff, you know, the superhero thing, and then thinking about the money thing and seeing all these comments online, I get it. I'm going to say, teachers, I understand. I feel bad, you know, and that's why I try to help. Every year I give $5,000 of my own money for teacher supply list.
Hey, man,
every year.
Hey, yes.
Yep, in August, I always do, all right, teacher supply list, post them. Sometimes in July, sometimes teachers get antsy and start messaging me, when are you going to post it?
When are you going to do it?
And so that I post it, teachers put their supply list, and man, I go down, I buy everything personally.
You go do it yourself?
Yep, nobody else buys it. I go in, I click it, and I find something, and I buy it, and it's not the most cheap thing, too. I always often like, man, I don't want to just buy like a $3 thing for these teachers. I'll buy a science set. I buy a volleyball net. You know, I buy stuff that teachers want for their classroom, and, you know, obviously crayons, the basics. Man, sometimes I get choked up reading some of those things. Because you look at it and you go, you should have all this, man.
Yes.
Why are we really setting up a wish list for this? But again, back to the finances, back to teachers being superheroes. Yeah. Got to cover all the bases.
You do.
Got to pull it all in. Anyways, when I started to read all that stuff, I try to help out and try to do my own little superhero thing for them whenever I can. So, but yeah, if you're listening to this, mark your calendar for 1st of August. That's around when I usually post the teacher wish list thing. And everybody posts and they don't think I'm going to do it. And I do it for a long time too. I don't do it all on the first day. So some teachers like I do it the next day and then the next day and the next day. I'll be sitting at the airport and I'll be like, you know what, let me buy some stuff, you know, and I just help them out. So
now you might find a car note in there somewhere. So just
a what?
A car note.
Oh, you?
Yeah,
Mr. Yon. That's crazy. I've never seen that. What is it? He wants the new Travis Scott.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. All right, let's go to the teachers in the news. All right, Teacher Institute in Richmond offers paid professional development. What? I know. So as a teacher, professional development is 99% never paid. It's always in service. We got to go do it. It's part, even during the summer.
Really?
They're just like, yeah, you got to show up, you know, or they go, it's voluntarily mandatory.
Wow.
Yeah, you volunteer to definitely come.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that's kind of how it works is occasionally there'll be stuff paid, but it's almost never paid for by states. And this one isn't either. This one is paid for by the local museum. So in Virginia, the Museum of History and Culture in Richmond has offered a teacher training seminar this summer. They are offering to pay teachers to participate.
Okay.
Now, I'm like, hey, this is pretty baller. They get a little stipend, maybe. That'll be kind of neat. Now, there's, I don't know. I got to the fine print. $250. Yeah, $250 to attend the professional development training. Well, that's not bad for one day. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, 9 to 5, 40-hour week. Okay, never mind. It is $6.25 an hour that you are being paid to attend this. Now, it's something. I know there's other teachers going, it's paid, you know, because $6.25. Wow.
Yeah.
Because normally it's zero.
Gotcha.
So it's like, you know, it's something. Now I will say this, the only thing that I kind of was like, okay, now we're talking. In addition to the stipend, teachers from out of town are eligible for a $750 travel scholarship. I don't know what a travel scholarship exactly is. Normally it's a travel stipend or a travel reimbursement or
scholarship.
Yeah, that's kind of weird to say that, but all right.
That terminology for it.
Maybe it's just something that we have to use to file it under, to cover the cost.
There you go.
But anyways, any Virginia teacher can sign up. I think that's pretty cool. So if you're in the Virginia area, check out your local Museum of History and Culture. They are doing a paid professional development. So if you have to get professional development as a teacher, we have to.
You have to.
You got to keep up with the ever-changing times, keep that certification active every 5 years. It's up for renewal in the state of Florida. I don't know about Virginia, but if you have to, $250.
There you go, man.
$250.
Well, you know what? Shout them out for actually paying the teachers.
Yeah. So it says that they've gotten a bunch of teachers in the past, but I guess this is the first time that it's ever been
Paid.
A Miami-Dade teacher is convicted of having relations with a student and is sentenced to 20 years in prison. Now, this is a gentleman who was teaching down in Miami-Dade, had a relation with a student who was 17 at the time. He was a teacher. He had, and I say relation only because I don't want to get vulgar about it.
I understand.
Because,
You're being very...
I don't mean
respectful.
like it's a relation. I mean, like, obviously this was a power move. This is something that should never have happened.
Absolutely.
And I don't think it was, anything remotely consensual. It's something that obviously this person preyed on them. So anyways, this person apparently one time in their classroom had something to do with this other the student, female student. It got reported. He's been going through this court case for, I guess, since 2018. Finally sentenced to 20 years with 10 years of supervised probation afterwards. So total of 30 years of punishment.
Okay.
I read the story and I said, "Oh man, that's terrible for the student, you know, and good punishment being handed down on the books. It's a minor, definitely.
Absolutely,
you don't do that kind of stuff, especially if you're a teacher. You're in a position of power.
Yes,
that's the power play. Now, I brought up that story because the story that followed it is a female Texas teacher had relations with a 13-year-old boy in their classroom several dozen times. In fact, it goes back quite a bit. This teacher is convicted of having this 13-year-old in their classroom and was sentenced recently, convicted of the exact same offense.
Yes. With
a 13-year-old, sentenced to 60 days in prison.
Wow.
60 days in prison and gets to forego going to jail because they just had a child with their husband.
Oh, my God.
So had a child with the husband and said, I just had a child. I can't go to prison. And the judge said, oh, you're right. So raise the child a little bit, and then we'll get to the prison thing later, and you can do your 60 days at another time. Obviously, this is my concern. And again, I've seen this many, many, many times. I think that there should be a definite punishment for this. I think that it's a crime.
It is a crime.
It is something that should not happen in our schools. The children should never, ever encounter anything like this. The punishment, though, I think should be equal.
It has to be.
I mean, I just don't see how we can sentence one person to 20 years for a one-time offense with a 17-year-old and then look at the exact same case of this happening with a 13-year-old and going 60 days in prison.
60 days opposed to 20 years.
Yeah, and now I'm just using this example. You're free. I welcome challenges on this. You are free to find a difference in maybe you think I'm being biased because it's these two stories, but keep in mind, I've been doing Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers, for 4 to 5 years now. I look at this stuff every week when I would do this stuff, and every single time it was female teacher, 2 years, male teacher, 30 years. Female teacher, 3 years. Male teacher, 10 years. It was always that way. Now,
double standard.
I just don't understand that. I don't know if that's it. And also, I will say this too. It's a reflection of our society that the better looking teachers get less time.
Are you serious?
Yep, every time. I've noticed these trends, and I'm not making this up. I'm not trying to, stir controversy. I'm saying that I go through and I look at this teacher and she's attractive. She's a pretty girl. And for the judge to say, you know what, you're fine. If it was an unattractive woman There was a recent case where I was like, and I know this is very shallow. I was like, that's not this person doesn't have a lot of physically attractive qualities to me, and I'm saying that in a very nice way.
Yeah.
And so we don't get canceled. And I was looking at it, and I was like, this person is not physically attractive to me. I would be willing to say, because they just got arrested for it, and I'm going to follow up on this one. I'd be willing to say they get a much more severe punishment because they're not pretty. And again, fight me on this, James. Am I wrong?
I'm very careful about this. I don't think you are.
Am I wrong?
But here's the thing that I'm thinking about these two stories. Okay, first off, any child getting abused like this is wrong.
Of course.
It's morally just corrupt and wrong. To me, it gets sicker as a parent when the child gets younger.
Oh, of course.
To me,
well, keep in mind, I mean, 17 in the state of Florida is not legal, but in other states, it absolutely is. And not only is it absolutely legal, it's in the middle of the legal. It starts at like 15, 16.
And people don't realize that. But 13 to me just seems like turns my stomach.
Impressionable. Way too much. There's not a shadow of a doubt that was a extreme power play.
Absolutely, man. And the fact that you give them 60 days is a slap in the face.
60 days delayed because you're letting them raise their family.
So you're telling the parents of this child, I know the person that did this bad thing to your child, this predator, this person that's evil, we're going to just let her take care of her family instead of us taking care of what happened to yours.
You're not even touching on the darkest part of this. She's a pedophile with a child.
Oh, yes.
You haven't even talked about that.
I did.
That's one thing we don't even think.
I didn't even think about that. You're absolutely right.
Imagine a male going, I you know what? I'm a pedophile. I did this. Oh, by the way, I want to be around my child when they're born.
And that's the thing.
Please let me near my kid.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
when you're a pedophile, you have to register, right? You're on a list, and you can't be around kids, right?
Oh, bro, but she's apparently allowed to be around
her own. That's a tough one, Dev.
This is the thing. It carries a maximum life sentence. And it apparently prosecutors asked for 20 years behind bars. She got 60 days.
Hey. How do you get from that? How do you go from that to 60 days in...
Bro, was it deal or no deal? Like, she's like, in this case is 20 years. In this case is 1 day. Which case do you choose?
Yeah. How?
I mean, like, the banker has offered,
Yeah, the banker's come back and he said 60 days. Jesus.
So, I don't know, man. And by all accounts, they said, by all accounts, this is an unusual outcome. And then it says, and this is a quote from the other lawyer, I'm sure that the gender of the person on trial, the fact that this was a woman accused of having sex with a young boy is going to factor into this as well.
Can I just say, in both those families who were families of the victims, shout out to you. God bless, man.
Yeah, I obviously. I mean, there's a victim here, and we don't want to get away from that. There is a victim here. But, man, it's just one of those things that, I don't like bringing up topics like that on the podcast. We like to keep it a little bit more light.
Yeah.
But I was like, what kind of, such a discrepancy. And it's right after each other on my news feed. Okay, let's get into something light, my friend.
Okay.
This one killed me. Hooker Hunter Bear.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait. Oh.
Have you heard of
I might have misheard you.
Don't Google that just yet.
Yeah.
It might come up with something different.
I have never heard of this game, Devin.
I hadn't either.
Okay.
I never looked it up. So apparently I was reading a Fox News article said, Mom rejects school's belated apology for teacher's hooker game. And said it's not good enough. Texas middle school students were asked to pose as seducing hookers in a role-playing game. And I'd never heard of this. I had to look it up on YouTube to see it actually being played.
Okay.
And I was cracking up. Okay, this is a good, fun game. It's innocent. I get that. So what you read, now I was reading Fox News. Fox News didn't even list the name of the game.
Okay.
They just said a hooker game.
Okay,
because it plays along.
Gotcha.
It's a hooker game. It's a hooker game. Your students are looking at hookers. And so you immediately go, oh my goodness, it's a shock. Ooh.
It is.
That's terrifying. And it's something that if I had seen it being done in school, I don't know as a teacher I would have stopped it.
Okay.
Because when you were a kid, now do you remember there were little things that we used to do? What was the one rhyme? I see London, I see France.
I see,
But then it would like have a second verse that was like very vulgar.
Oh yes,
yes. I'm not doing that vulgar verse on here because we'll get canceled.
That's right.
Did you ever do the open the diaper thing
Absolutely.
then you see the
Yeah.
oh well look at this that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where kids are just like I don't even think they know what they're talking about.
Probably not.
So
Probably not.
James, would you like to play?
You're gonna make me play this game, aren't you?
Would you like to play Hooker Hunter Bear with me?
Yes.
It is. Oh, it's awesome.
Okay.
Now, I agree with the news article that it shouldn't be played in school. I don't know.
Is that good?
I think it's fun.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I get it. As a parent, your kid comes home and is like, you want to play hooker game with me? And you're like, where'd you learn this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So as a dad, I think once I learned it, I'd probably be like, it's kid stuff, So
all right.
Here's how it works. Okay. Now, typically we would be back to back, but you and I are just going to close our eyes. Okay. And basically, you would say 1, 2, 3, shoot. Now, it is not rock, paper, scissors. It is hooker, hunter, bear. So, if you turned around and you were a hooker, you would look like this. You are seductive. If you are a hunter, you turn around and you got the
gun.
If you are a bear, you turn around and you're like this.
Got it.
Okay, so here's the deal. Hooker seduces the hunter. So if you're the hunter, I've seduced you and I win. If you are the hunter, hunter kills the bear, obviously.
Makes sense.
And the bear eats the hooker.
Gotcha.
You know what? Now that I say it, I don't know that. Yeah,
got it.
It's one of those things. So anyways, that's how you play the game. Are you ready, James?
I think I'm ready.
Now you can do any variation of what you want to look like. Like that's the fun thing about it is like when you were a kid, it's like, ooh, you coming down the road and let me show a little leg. You remember doing that kind of?
I remember watching Bugs Bunny dress up.
Yes!
Yeah,
Bugs Bunny would do it.
Absolutely.
So anyways, James, we'll close our eyes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. Just assume a position as soon as you close your eyes. And I go 1, 2, 3, shoot. We open our eyes, see who wins. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, see, I'm dead.
I got it.
That's funny. All right, one more time. We'll do best of 3.
Okay, got it.
Best of 5 if I lose these extra. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Ooh! 2 for the price of 1.
There you go. We're a BOGO.
No. See, that's fun. I don't know.
That is fun,
All right,
man.
so that was a draw. Okay, ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Again,
yes.
I lost. Okay. All right. It's 2. We're doing best out of 5.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, all right. So I've lost 2 now.
Okay,
so if I lose the next one, it's done. Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, 2 hunters. Okay. Ready? Close your eyes. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, I seduced you. I seduced
Let me put my gun down and get something for us to drink.
No, keep the gun. Keep the gun. I like it rough. We're so getting canceled.
We are.
All right. So it's 2-1.
Yes.
2-1. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, I've lost again.
Yes.
I lost. Dang it.
Well, I think we've learned something. When it comes to games with hookers, I'm really good.
You are. Yeah, you are. But also, you grew up in the South, so
I did.
Hunting is your thing.
It sure is.
Apparently, being a bear is not mine.
No.
And that is going to be clipped onto some grinder website immediately. I just know it.
Ooh, your followers are going to go through the
They
roof.
will. They'll be like, so you want to be the bear? All right. So no, so reading about it, dude, I sat there and I was
get it now, but you can call it something besides hooker. Call her lady,
but it's
woman.
also catchy.
Well,
the hooker doesn't have to be female, James. Apparently, you're living in the wrong age.
I am. You know what? You know what? I'd like to apologize.
Yeah. No, so it'd be like a temptress. Hunter bear.
Yes.
Or I don't know.
Gotcha.
So I just think that was funny to me. I was reading about it and I was like, you know what? I'm on board. I'm on board. Now,
let it be.
Speaking of seducing. Now, James, I actually have passed on my duties this week to you.
You have.
But I was impressed because you messaged me. You said, hey, man, I got something for the pod today.
I do.
And obviously, I love involving you more. The fans are loving you.
I love them.
I think that, I want to see what you got to offer. So you have a top 10 list today. Do you want to tell me about it?
I definitely do. Now, we touched on it on one of our previous episodes, man. We were talking about dress codes in school, and I brought up the point of when I used to pick up my kids from the line at school. No, I didn't do that. No, they just knew.
Children.
They'd all run. I don't know if you noticed this if you were ever on car line duty as a teacher outside. Some of the parents were the ones that might have needed a dress code.
A few.
Yes.
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
When I taught middle school, I was, fresh out of college, young, 25.
Absolutely.
In shape, playing basketball. And there was a few moms that came up looking for, somebody.
Yes.
And they talked to me. And some of them hit on me. I think I went on a date with one. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't my student's mom, though.
Oh,
it was a different mom in the school.
Is that okay to do, though?
It was a different mom. I don't know. Who cares?
You're actually playing.
I quit. You can't fire me.
No, sir. What we're going to do is find you, rehire you, then fire you.
Yes, absolutely. Oklahoma's going to review. Anyways, that's a callback to last
episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought about it. I'm like, you know what, man? There must be a way for parents to tell if they need a dress code in school.
Okay.
So I came up with 10 signs your school may need a dress code.
Okay. I'm interested. I'm listening.
All right. Number 10. You're supposed to be at the school to pick up your child, and you end up picking up a new baby daddy instead.
Well, I've been there.
That's what makes that funny. Number 9, ma'am, it's only 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, but you're dressed like it's 10 p.m. on Saturday night. I've seen that.
Yes, I've seen them on. Sometimes I've seen them on Saturday night too.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Number 8, sir, your shirt clings to you tighter than your son did when you dropped him off to pre-K. It's for the men too.
For the reference.
Yes. My man, if your pants are so tight that you are no longer able to physically have kids, you know you're doing too much. I've seen that too. Papi chulo. Ma'am, if your skirt is higher than your child's GPA, then you may need a dress code. Number 5, if your baby tee is literally you wearing your baby's tee, then you are definitely doing too much.
I like that one. So is that a 4T or a 5T? I see you came from Baby Gap today.
Yes, it is. Number 4, we know it's a bake sale, but those are not the type of cakes we wanted to see.
But they may have the cookies.
You're right. I'll allow it. Number 3, they say to dress for the job you want. If that's the case, a lot of parents want to be pregnant.
Oh.
Yes.
Aggressive?
Just joking. These are just jokes,
They're
people.
just jokes, people.
Yeah.
JamesYawn@gmail.com for all the...
my email?
That's not your real email, though.
No, it's not. That's funny.
He's like, yes, it's not.
No, it's not. Okay, guys, we're winding down here. Number 2, when you walk down the hall and the kids make it rain milk money, that's how you might know that your outfit's a little revealing, ma'am.
It's like, Mom, I need money for lunch, preferably ones.
What kind of milk are you buying?
Right? What kind of milk are you buying?
I didn't mean to even say that.
I know you didn't, but you did, and it made it that much better.
It did. The number 1 sign your school may need a dress code for the parent. Mm-hmm. Ma'am, just because your son has 2 Ds doesn't mean we need to see yours.
Oh, man. That's great. I love it.
Thank you, man. Thank you for letting me do that, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Hate mail, James John Comedian at Instagram. Must follow him, by the way, before sending the message.
Yes. That's how we do it. So James John Comedy, email.
Now, James, I have not read this, but I actually remembered now that I did a superhero top 10.
That's right.
Can I counter your top 10 with my
Please
top 10?
do,
now,
my friend.
I love yours because yours is. I'm not trying to overstep you.
But no worries, man.
We've kind of talked a lot about superheroes this one. And I think I don't think I've ever did this. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even think I did it on the podcast. I don't know why. Sometimes I just write top 10s and they sit in my drafts for forever.
That's funny.
So here's the top 10, and I think this is teaching in comics. I don't even know what that means.
Okay.
the way teaching is like comics. Number 10, Spider-Man was bit by a radioactive spider. I'm pretty sure I have several of those roaming around my classroom. Number 9, every 3 years we get a reboot of Spider-Man that retells the same origin story. Teachers also get to sit through a reboot every 3 years as the district tries new, more expensive teaching strategy.
True.
That's a long-winded joke. Number 8, classrooms are so overcrowded. I often wish I could just snap and half of them would go away. Just for 4 years until they graduate. Number 7, I feel like when I became a teacher, my physique followed the same route as Thor. I'm currently an in-game.
I'm with you. I'm right there with you.
At some point during class, I find myself saying, "Don't make me angry. You won't like it when I'm angry."
There you go.
Number 5, Ant-Man is what I call myself when students leave food on my desk.
Dang.
Because they're immediately there. I'm like, ooh, look at me, orchestrating everything. Number 4, some papers I grade end up looking like the Riddler suit.
There you go.
Question.
What
Why?
is that?
Why? Number 3, during some lessons, my students will often sit there like trees that only understand 3 words.
I am Groot.
Slow burner. I am Groot.
Groot.
Yeah. Number 2, a teacher in front of the board is a lot like Daredevil. They may think that we can't see what's going on, but we're completely aware of our surroundings.
I like that one.
And number 1, Superman puts on a disguise outside his job so no one recognizes him. I also try to make myself look unrecognizable so students don't know who I am. Like, is that Siebold? He doesn't wear glasses.
I like it.
That's me. I'm out there. So, yeah. I thought,
He's wearing a cape.
I forgot. The superhero
That's pretty
cape.
good,
He's
man.
wearing a little
Nice.
teacher hero cape. But, yeah. So, send in your suggestions, obviously, over to Crying in My Car at not our social media. I don't even have the email. I think I do. cryinginmycar@gmail.com. I think it still exists.
Okay, nice.
And send all your hate mail over to James.
Of course.
As well. So, James, what do you got coming up, buddy?
I'm really focused on my show right now.
Yeah.
A late night talk show on Afro, Xfinity Comcast, channel 1623. Check it out. Also, I'm doing shows everywhere. If you guys want to find out where I'm going to be, all you have to do is follow me on Instagram at James Yon Comedian.
Yeah.
And you'll find out where I'm going to be. You guys can come join me. We can share some laughs together.
And I've been on that show as well.
It's
And you
a
also
good
do
show.
the Funny Not Famous show, which I've
Funny
been
Not
on as well.
Famous. You were on that show as well. I always bring Devin to all my shows. That's in my contract.
It is.
Yeah.
It's required.
It is. That's another stand-up comedy showcase we did for Black History Month. It was the second season of that show where we give guys opportunities to get to that next level so they can make it in the comedy business.
Right. And we got Black History Month was February.
Yeah.
Women's History Month, March.
Yes, sir.
And then I think April is Hispanic Heritage Month.
Oh.
Is that correct?
I believe it is because I
believe
have
it.
a Latin wife. I'll check with her.
As a teacher, I was always up to date on that
on
kind
all
of
those
stuff.
different ones.
Especially as a social studies teacher, there were days we were required to do stuff. We had Constitution Day where we had to teach the Constitution. We had bullying lessons. We had other days where it was like, okay, we have to acknowledge that this is a day. 9/11 obviously is a big day that we would talk about. I try not to be redundant. I always tried to take it in a different direction because every teacher, by the way, I know teachers. I know you. The second that a holiday comes up, you're already thinking the exact same thing to do in every other class.
Yep.
You're like, let's make Lucky Charms for St. Patrick's Day. Let's make 4-leaf clovers.
Yep.
Every other teacher's doing it. Be different. My students would get to me 6th period and be like, we already talked about this in my first 5 classes. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm trying to do something a little bit different. Yeah, there's only so many times you can do Constitution Day and talk about free speech. Sometimes you got to talk about boarding soldiers. You got to say, students, I don't know if you know this, but if a British guy comes up to your house and wants to stay there while he's attacking the United States, you can tell him no.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't know
Got
if they know. So I have to really get into that with them, in
That's
depth.
funny.
But anyways, find me at devincomedy.com. Check out the podcast, not the podcast, the tour. You're already listening to the podcast. Share the podcast, 5 stars.
5.
And obviously, we thank you for tuning in. And hopefully, we'll be back next week with a brand new episode, if we're not canceled, of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. Thanks so much.
Later.
There might be a clip up there. There might be a clip down there. If it's got our face, if it's other people's stuff, come back. Don't click on that, But us, suggested things. That's us. Crying in My Car. Devin Siebold, James Yon, board teachers. Watch. New trailer for Indiana Jones. No, don't do that. Don't do that.